Oh, hello, and welcome to Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
And I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta. Tonight we have the Memetic symbol. So for those of you just tuning in, creepypastas, well, you can go Google it, but effectively they are creepy internet campfire stories. There you go.
That's the short version.
Yeah. But yeah, go Google it if you want. We'll wait. Cool.
God, you're not sick of that joke.
No, I don't. Not at all. So, if you want to check out Memetic symbol, you can check it out at creepypasta.wiki. I checked a couple of times and I could not find a reading of it, so it does not exist. But we'll dive right into this one. So, Memetic symbol is being written by this narrator who appears to be the only person in the world unaffected by this symbol that is affecting everything. And it starts off like him narrating how he discovered the symbol. He is an analyst for memes and like fringe internet culture. And he like two girls, one cup kind of thing, but he analyzes them and detaches himself from it and tries to figure out how it affects human culture. So he's looking around for his next big thing to make into a book or a hobby or something, and he finds the symbol, which is this. It's in the script of a website he checks out, but it's not an image, but it's in the actual like the what the hell's the word for it? It's in the thing. It's for some reason it says it's in the font, but there's no way that this could be a font type or like a typeset at all.
Yeah,
Unicode. It's in the Unicode, which makes no sense because the Unicode essentially is what makes up all the text and dialogue on a website. But
I touch this key, I get this symbol.
Exactly, yeah.
And this is not one of those symbols.
Exactly. And he it had to be like a. And what's even weirder is that the code doesn't make any sense because there's not enough code in the source for this thing to exist on the page. So,
in fact, this symbol pushes the number of symbols exactly 1 over the amount that there's code for.
Exactly. So he thinks that's really weird, but the next day he takes his hard drive, brings it out to his garage, and starts start writing up some stuff about it, and notices that all the keys on his keyboard, the numbers and letters and symbols have all been replaced / eaten by the symbol. Like every key is now the symbol. And what's more is that his monitor's brand Philips has 4 symbols in a row. It's all the same symbol, and even the chip. No,
it's 7 symbols because there's 7 letters Phillips.
Sorry, yeah, have been replaced.
Math,
yay! I'm not good at it.
In the cultist's mind, it was a Sony monitor.
Yes. Anyway, so yeah, the same thing. Like he finds a bag of chips on his desk, and it's just littered with the symbols where any content should be. So, thinking this, he shrugs this off as a prank, a very elaborate prank by 2 notorious people that he knows, and decides just to kind of take all his stuff and notices that he's late for work and decides to grab all his stuff and drive to work. And apparently, on instinct, halfway through his drive, just chucks everything out into a ditch on the road on the way to work. So he gets to work and decides to have takeout for lunch. So he goes out and goes to a deli, and he's in line reading a newspaper, and he's looking at the menu, and boom, there's the symbol where mayonnaise should be. And it's just like, what? So he asks the guy behind him about the symbol, and the guy just kind of like jerks and like spazzes, and then ignores it, and he finds this really odd. Turns around, asks takes his order with the cashier lady, and then asks orders mayonnaise, and she just completely spasms, like every muscle in her body just spasms. And then she ignores it, and she like looks at him cockeyed, and is like, "What?" And he just kind of ignores that, takes his order, but then runs out of the building to the nearest deli, where he proceeds to go on a hunt for mayonnaise. And every place he finds mayonnaise, he finds the symbol. he goes to a
In
shopping
a statue form, not just
Yeah, like he finds
hanging
this
out
like
there.
these weird statuettes of the symbol in this gray stone, on just lining shelves where mayonnaise should be, and he asks like shoppers, and they all just kind of like go that spasming toward it, and then like look at him and completely ignore, like forget what they just saw. So this is driving the guy nuts for like the entire day. Like he eventually just drives home. After going to like a library and like looking up finding the image or finding the symbol wherever.
Well, and my favorite part is he asks someone and he goes through the the list of ingredients in mayonnaise. He's like, if you put all that together, what do you get? And the guy's like, I don't know, but I bet it'd go great with tuna.
Yeah,
I laughed my ass off at that. I was like, it does, man. You don't know what you're missing anymore. Literally.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's yeah. So he gets home. His girlfriend comes in, and he's asking her how her day went, and he then also describes what her job is, which apparently she does like investments in companies to other third world countries. And there's some kind of, I actually looked it up, but like she's talking about like this conflict between New Carthage and the Ottoman Combine, and I think that might be made up. I couldn't find anything on that, so it's kind of like it kind of gives you the first hints that this isn't our reality. And then as it goes down, and then like again, she tries to say normal, and she just goes that horrible spastic chordal sound, and it just gets worse from there because the world just starts getting replaced with the symbol, like nails gets replaced by symbols, so that people's fingertips have the symbol on it, and then all buildings tend to start collapsing because they've been the nails in them have been replaced with the symbol. Eventually, the moon gets replaced with a symbol, and a bunch of other things. Like he ends up having his girlfriend's eyes get replaced with a symbol, and she can no longer see, but she remembers being with him, and he just ultimately ends up killing her because as a mercy kill.
And when things are replaced, like the very idea of them, the concept of them,
what they are,
is
what
replaced.
they represent.
It's like
eyes are
you
replaced,
don't have eyes,
but you have the concept of sight
but
until
you don't. And well, until sight is replaced, but you don't recall having eyes.
Exactly, yeah, because you can't comprehend this symbol. So eventually
it removes them from ever being.
Exactly. Eventually he is left there in a field of like foodstuffs and some like little supplies that he's been able to scrounge up as the world has been reduced to the symbol. The crust of but
there's no point because he's got no mayonnaise.
No. So yeah, like the world is essentially just collapsing, and he's just lamenting about how the symbol is going to take over his entire universe soon, and that he doesn't know if this message will ever get out to another dimension, but if it does, like he hopes that this symbol doesn't follow it. And then in the last paragraph, the symbol in the last sentence of the last paragraph, the symbol has wormed its way into his message, meaning that, or kind of denoting that it's here. So
what do you mean? He just missed a letter.
Oh my god! So, to be concluded, but no, it's finished. I like the idea of this story. Like, memetic symbols, to me, are very interesting as a concept. Like, that something can replace, like, human, like, or just ideas and concepts and be completely alien to us. But, yeah, as we mentioned previously, like, earlier off the show, this one's a very dry read. It did also kind of feel, I mean, aside from that, it did also feel like the Outer Limits kind of episode. Like, it was very kind of like that kind of, like, story. Like, a doomed message.
Yeah, I suppose, but that's not going to save.
I see. Well, what are your thoughts on it?
It is well written. And, you know, the fact that it is dry kind of fits with the subject matter,
and
but
the characters,
at the same time, it's
not very good for reading.
Yeah.
It felt like I was reading a textbook.
It's immersion at the cost of entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's never a fair trade.
Mm-hmm. Although
I would rather be entertained than immersed.
Yeah. Like, sometimes it has
not always, but you know what I mean. It's best to have both, but if I can pick just one,
entertainment,
I will pick entertainment. And I mean,
it sometimes works, but
cool idea.
Yeah.
Like, I also liked the idea, and honestly, yeah, it's, very dry read, but I don't really see how it could have not been.
Yeah.
So it's really...
It also gets its unnervingness from how, like, very detached he is from describing things that he's encountering. Like, yeah, he strangled his girlfriend because it was a mercy kill, but he describes it so blandly that it's kind of unnerving how detached he's become.
After seeing so much in, like, popular culture, like TV and movies, where, like, oh my god, you let one person die, but you saved, like, a gajillion. You monster!
Yeah.
Because you let one person die. And all of the drama that, to me, just isn't there as an individual.
The melodrama.
I'm like, why are you upset about this?
It's drama for the sake of drama.
It's like, they're just like, oh my god, you killed one person. Yeah, you know what?
I saved the planet.
Yeah. So, after getting just smashed with that left and right, because virtually everywhere,
yep,
like, people can't make the hard choice in popular culture and make the right choice without catching flack for it from
the rest of the community that they're in. Like Walking Dead, I think is probably a good. I haven't actually watched a whole lot of it, but I'm guessing that's probably a good example.
Yeah,
I could be completely wrong. I haven't watched enough.
But yeah, and like all of that, and I mean, even sometimes the character that makes the choice is like, guilt-ridden with it, and it's... I can't empathize with these people and their thoughts because I don't get it.
Yeah.
So for this guy to literally just, like, gloss over a mercy killing of someone he loved.
Yeah.
And, yeah, he killed them, but
he spared them.
He ended their suffering.
Yeah. He spared and he even mentions he spared her a worse fate than the rest of humanity as people started drowning.
And it's just glossed over, and like, he's got no guilt over it. He feels he made the right decision. That was actually quite refreshing for me because, like I said, I mean, God,
yeah.
If I have to hear how bad
he felt
lies are, lies that protect people. Sorry, this is a really big pet peeve for me in the past couple of seasons of TV. Like, oh no, I've been watching Arrow, and his sister keeps finding out about these, like, little white lies to protect people, and she's all like, you lied to me!
Well, actually,
how could you lie to me?
There's a whole TV show called...
And it's just fucking horrid.
There's a whole TV show called Dirty Little Liars, which is that's the entire premise.
Okay, first off, it's Pretty Little Liars, and secondly, I don't know if that actually relates because I've never seen it.
Sadly, I kind of have, and it does. I mean, it's just like the whole consequences of lying, essentially, is the whole premise of that series, from the sounds of it.
Yeah, but the consequences wouldn't be there if people just lighten the fuck up and understand that, you know what?
Lies had to be made.
Sometimes people can't handle the truth. You want the truth?
Okay, I got the perfect... In lieu of this podcast, this will probably date us. In lieu of recent events, I believe a man once said the best words for this whole thing. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Wow, that was just so... underwhelming.
Alright, fine. Fair enough.
I thought it was going to be like some great thing, and then it was just like... that one quote from the Star Trek that everyone knows.
Well, does it not fit? Like,
kind of, but it's more about, like, I'm doing something to protect you, and you're gonna, chomp at the bit about it. You're gonna get all fucking uppity.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I don't know. It's a thing. It annoys the piss out of me. I probably annoy the piss out of my girlfriend every time we're watching TV and it comes up and I'm just like, shut up! Yeah, if you think I'm entertaining, try watching a television show or a movie with me, because I quickly get annoying, I bet.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anywho... eventually, getting back to the point, the fact that was, like, just
completely ignored.
It was an event that happened, and it was chronicled because it happened, and for no other reason.
Yeah.
Okay. I did like that. again, I don't have a lot to say. Like, it was well done, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's probably
Well, like
the
you mean you
best
didn't like
way I can describe this pasta.
You didn't like
this
it in that you didn't
pasta
find it
was
entertaining.
Yeah, exactly. Like I can't. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's
just not for me.
Yeah.
Is more or less how it goes. Maybe some people could, dig this. I genuinely, I'm gonna jump ahead. I genuinely recommend this.
Okay.
Because it's got a cool concept. It is well done.
Mm-hmm.
It might not be,
yeah.
a powerhouse entertaining thing, but
It's a thought provoker.
exactly, it gets you to think about it, and thinking is never a bad thing for people to do.
Yeah, it was almost like kind of, I dare to say, like an intellectual creepypasta, because it has some big ideas that it tries to create dread with.
Yeah, I'll give you that, I suppose.
It's a smarter one, for at least.
Well, yeah.
I was reading through, I was getting through. I literally did have to Google check a couple of things that he mentions in it because I just didn't understand them. And that's just, maybe that says something about my IQ or my knowledge, but I don't know.
Really? Like what?
Well, mainly, New Carthage and the Ottoman thing, but then some of the technobabble that he was going on about at the very beginning, involving the analysis of the internet and stuff.
Okay. Those are actually, I didn't know anything about those things or know if they were real things, but I've got pretty good filters when it comes to
technobabble.
A, technobabble, and B, world events, be it past or present. I can just kind of...
You can skip.
I almost look at it as world building.
Yeah.
Like, when they mention something in a Marvel movie that I know nothing about, or in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that one's a big one.
Yeah.
And I don't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I haven't read a lot of Marvel comics, so I don't know everything about everything.
Yeah.
Like, hell, they made a movie about shit I didn't know. It was called Guardians of the Galaxy, and it was fucking amazing. But, leading up to it, I knew nothing about Guardians of the Galaxy, so it's just like, you get all of that. It's all just world-building, backstory kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, it's not that I ignore it, it's that I just...
accept it for...
I accept it for either... I accept it for the science or history of this world. Mm-hmm. Even if it's not real, or even if it is real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
World
War II. I accept that as the history of this world.
Exactly, yeah. And again, I might be wrong in saying that New Carthage and the conflict in the Ottoman Combine, or the former Ottoman Combine, is not a real thing. I skimmed, I quickly Googled Ottoman Combine and New Carthage and didn't really find a whole lot. I found Carthage, which is a Spanish conflict in history. But if anybody wants to send us an email and let me know how wrong I am for thinking that that's not part of our real history, go for it. But yeah, so
if that was just made up and world building, kudos.
Yeah,
I am actually going to say that actually supports your theory of an intellectual pasta.
Yeah, because it made me want to look things up and see if what he was saying was...
Well, no, and referencing what was it? Former Ottoman Combine and New Carthage.
Yeah.
These are terms I know.
Yeah,
but I don't know anything about the term.
Exactly.
And
unfortunately, my only reference to Ottoman is the Ottoman Empire from Assassin's Creed Revolution. Because that's the main villain, or the main faction in that one. But, yeah, no, you know what I mean? It's just, that was my layman's
This is
reference.
your public education system at work, folks.
Look. I got nothing.
You can't argue with it.
Nope. So, I will also give this one a recommendation to read. In that, if only because the idea is really cool, and while it is a dry read, it is a relatively interesting idea.
It is well written.
It's just not entertaining. It's just very dry. That's the only thing. It's a dry read.
But it was also a fairly quick read,
yeah.
Which is part of the factor I counted when I gave it my recommendation, because if it had been super long, I'd have been no, it's just boring and it goes on too long.
But it doesn't.
But It's dry, it's well written, it's got a cool idea, and it's short. So there's one bad thing in that list.
Yeah.
And honestly, I can read dry. I like to read textbooks as long as it's about something I give a rat's ass about. And this one kind of got me in from the start. I mean, it doesn't have like a big catch me hook, but I was intrigued from the get-go.
Yeah.
So I kept going, and I, powered through the tedium of reading it.
Yeah. Well, you'll be happy to know that we have Matt for this one, since I asked him for some ideas for creepypastas to put on the queue, and this was one of his.
Okay.
So, Matt from The Drunk and the Ugly, by the way.
So, thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're drunk and or ugly, but thank you.
So, that's our recommendation then, I guess, and that's our episode. As always, you can check this one out at creepypasta.wiki. Any listener out there that has a creepypasta reading YouTube channel, I want to hear this one read, to be honest. So that's my request to the world. And you can send us comments and emails and messages and stuff in the comment section below wherever this gets posted. Send us a review on iTunes now that we're there. That'd be awesome. You can send us messages on Twitter. We are at Dr. Leviathan and Review Cultist. And as always, you can send us an email at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. Or you can send us suggestions for other creepypastas you want us to review or discuss on the show. So until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
And I'm Dr. Leviathan.
And this has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.